Oh, yeah. Okay. Woo, yeah. Indian Creek. How you like me now? Not so good, is it? It's awesome. Okay, cool. Can you smell my breath? Holy smokes. Look where we are. Indian Creek, Utah. Crack climbing mecca. It's super crack, the climb that started it all. Hand jam after hand jam after hand jam. On belay. The pain, the misery, the desert, the sand, the earth, the sky. Let's live it all. Come on. Come on. Yeah! Beatbox, yeah. Okay, this is Indian Creek beatbox, and it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mental? Fun-mental. The fundamentals. The fundamentals.
Hold on, no, don't let me see your arms. See, it looks like boobs, like that's totally a boob, and then I cut to the arm. Then I'm like, what the? Is this one? Those man boobs, dude. Jesus, get away from me! Micah is built for crack climbing.
Little fingies.
Particularly fingers, because he has these little tiny chisel tips that get right into the cracks and give him that extra advantage. Get the taper, man. I mean, look at that. It's perfect. It can go in the smallest little cracks.
I like the powerfulness of the climbing. I just love the aesthetic beauty of the lines. They're splitter. And it really becomes important to look at the size of the crack and to look up as you're climbing and to see where the constrictions are and to know your body well enough to say, okay, well, in that constriction I can get a knuckle in, but the slight quarter inch or even a millimeter or 2 millimeters will make the difference between sending it or absolutely not. Ruby's Cafe. And you see thin gear forever. It's entirely dependent on your power and on hitting all the locks perfectly. And if you hit them perfectly, the climb seems like 512. If you hit them incorrectly, it seems absolutely impossible. And it's just weird when you hit it just perfectly and your knuckle sticks in that totally parallel piece of sandstone, and you're able to just smear your feet against the blank sandstone on both sides of the crack and reach up with your next hand and get the next lock, and you're not pumped. You just sit there and you put in your piece of gear casually and you reach up again and you're like, wow, I'm totally in there. I'm gonna send this route. lot of times Indian Creek, that's how it feels when you're gonna send. It's just like, wow, I'm 3/4 of the way up and I'm just totally not pumped. I'm just hitting every one of these jams perfectly. That's an amazing feeling. When you can climb a 13A finger crack and you're just like at the anchor casually clipping it. Like, wow, that was really fun. I find the thinner lines to be really inspiring, and there's not many places you can find rad cracks like that except for here in Indian Creek. Ouchie. You get the little Uzis to come out.
Climbing is a lifelong activity that just gets better the older you get.
Yeah.
Two things happen with the aging process. The memory goes and the skin gets thinner. So I tape, and I'm going to spray this little stuff on so the tape will stick better. You know, I don't make those gloves, and I'm not going to do anything fancy.
Yeah.
And I'm done.
Oh, look at that. That's it?
That's it.
What do you think about that whole concept, though, of having something between you and the experience? You know, like take sex, for example. Some people consider tape gloves to be the condom of the hand for crack climbing. All right, Jim, you're going to explain to us how to hand jam.
So the idea is you stick your hand in, drop your thumb down, the back of your hand against one side of the crack, the fingers against the other side of the crack, and it jams. Getting down in this area where the crack's fairly wide, and you have to cup your hands more.
As it gets wider, it's getting less secure.
That's true. Now, if you have perfect hands like this, you can just hang from one hand like this. You can get your feet in the crack too. It's all about the feet. I mean, crack climbing, face climbing, any kind of climbing is about the more weight you can get onto your feet, off of your hands or off of your fingers, the better and the more successful you're going to be.
I like to look at where I'm going and go for that spot and not stop a lot to put too much gear in getting to that point, because the more you stop, put gear in, the more pumped you're going to get. So it's all about efficiency. It's about movement. It's about going quickly and smoothly. It's about using less energy. Usually in crack climbing, failure comes because the endurance goes, not because the move gets to the point that you can't do it.
Well, here's a good one.
I've talked to non-climbers before, and they go, "Oh, isn't that scary?" And I would look at them and I'll say, "I'll tell you what about climbing. I climb because it's so relaxing." They look at me like I'm nuts. You go climbing and you get so focused in the here and now and the present and what you're doing,
That's good.
that everything else goes away. I think that's the definition of relaxation. And I'll climb as long as I can get out of bed.
In between fingers and hands lies the never-never world of the finger stack and the ring lock. This crack size has thwarted many a hard man and hard woman. Come on, Petey. Okay, let's try it again. Ready? In between the fingers and the hands lies the never-never world of the finger stack and the ring lock. This crack size has thwarted many a hard man and hard woman. Topher Donahue lies somewhere in between. Just like the finger stack. Just like the finger stack. Topher, tell us about the emotional scars.
It's sort of like grabbing your thumbs between your teeth like this and just...
Show us a thumb stack.
My fingers, if I put them in, are too small to fit the crack. My hand is too big to go all the way in. So I put my thumb in there to sort of act as a spacer, and then I stack my fingers behind it and twist them like a finger lock. You're cranking them in there between the two sides of the crack, and you have all your body weight hanging on the end of your thumb. It's a really strange feeling compared to most climbing.
Mm-hmm.
If you put your toe in the crack, it only goes in about 1/4 of an inch at the most.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you twist really hard, your feet will just come right out of the crack and you'll slide down and you'll fall off.
Yeah.
So you got to just like leave your foot in a vertical position in the crack.
How did thumb stacking affect your ability to snap your fingers?
I don't have any problem with snapping my fingers because the slightest change and I just fall right out of the crack.
Could you snap your fingers for us right now?
No.
Like this.
Oh. Can't really do it.
No, I'm not talking snapping your fingers like sticks.
Oh.
Like
you mean like a
Yeah.
drummer?
Yeah.
Oh, like that.
The rhythm. Like, do you
I can't
find
do it
that
very well.
snapping your fingers helps you thumb stack?
Some of the most notorious cracks here are the same size for over 100 feet. If it's that good size for you, you're having a great time. And if it's that bad size for you, you're going to be having trouble. It's not that these techniques are like set in stone and that you go from one to the next exactly, but a lot of times it's just this creative burst that you get when you're in total desperation. You're just like, ah! Throw something in there and grab as hard as you can and pull, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Most kinds of climbing, you're climbing something that's there. You're climbing little face holds, or you're climbing an ice pillar. But in crack climbing, climbing what's not there. You're trying to fill the void of that crack with your body in different ways. You can learn these few techniques, but then everything in between is this wild open area of creativity where you just do all kinds of stuff.
That one, right there. Cliffs of Insanity. Psycho. Twisted. Tweaked. Deranged. Bizarre. Scared yet? Should be. Remember that climb? Broken Brain? When where Tommy Caldwell's taking that impossibly long whipper? Doesn't do that anymore. Yeah. Anyway, a couple of the crew decided to go up and test their metal. See if they had to woo, woo. Take a look at this. I expect that Vera is going to send it. And I think that it looks pretty damn hard, though. I mean, judging from what happened with Topher, I don't know.
It's cool when I got out of the thin hands into the stacks. I was already so pumped. I was looking at my hand, trying to bend my thumb in, get into the ring lock. And my thumb wouldn't really bend. It was just like, pumped and useless. Like, come on, bend in there.
Come on.
I just placed one piece and then kept climbing. I saw this, what I thought was going to be a lip with a jug over the top. So I just gunned for that. And then when I reached over and was all slopey, I had to do a few more jumps.
Holy shit. Come on.
And it worked. I'm pretty psyched. Close to throwing up.
Good job.
Oh.
Yeah. Sophie, you gonna go?
Hey, did you guys check that out? That was sick. Oh my God. She sent it. Broken Brain. That was Vera Schulte-Pelkum. Not only is she a rad climber on those sizes, but she's also renowned for her offwidth climbing. She digs it. She's bad to the bone, and she's right here, down and left. Vera, How are you?
Yeah, I took a big chunk out
Oh,
of it.
no. What
It's the
happened
new
there?
diet.
Check this out.
Pizza box scab.
Now here we have a classic Indian Creek offwidth right here. This is wide, gaping. It's ready to swallow and grab your body and chew it to pieces. What would you suggest?
Right. You fish your foot in there with your knee. Then your knee goes in, your foot comes out. See that? See that
Oh,
foot?
yeah, I see that. Okay, gotcha.
That's a froggy foot.
Look
Sit
at
in
that.
again.
Nice and scabby. Beautiful
That can
body
be avoided
parts.
if you're smart enough, unlike me, to tape first.
Whoa,
See,
look
all
at that.
points off, right?
That's radical. Holy smokes. So you
stack.
got your left hand speared against the one side and a fist jam on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
Whoa, so you're going to double fist
Yeah,
stack?
I'm not very good at those.
Your one hand on the outside of the crack, and then you're pressing your elbow.
Right. That's where you get the pizza box scab.
Heel toe, here we go. This is a great example right there. Heel toe action.
I just realized I'm dripping out of my ankle.
Oh my God, look, what is happening here? Dude, we need a tourniquet.
I think offwidths are the neglected orphan of crack roots. You have to be extremely inventive. Like, you have to combine body parts and positions to get, to make progress. And there's so many more different options that you can use than, say, it's just a hand crack. So it's a lot more interesting than simpler crack sizes. Once you can stick your knee in there, you can just sit on it. You can let go. Even on a steep thing, you can drop your hands. On a hard one, I find myself hitting a sweet spot where I just get things lined up just right. All of a sudden, boom, boom, I've made like 6 feet of progress. And then something doesn't quite line up anymore, and the next 6 inches take just as long. I've gotten not that much better at propelling myself up, but I've gotten a lot better at hanging out and resting, finding some sort of position where I'm mostly wedged in the crack. When you're doing an offwidth, you're struggling. As long as you're struggling up, it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's scarier. I think it's just more strenuous. A belly full of bad berries is a pretty unique looking climb. That would be cool.
You have about 20 feet of overhanging stacking where you have to kick over and slide your stacks, and you're basically hanging from one foot.
I didn't feel cool. I felt like a fool, but it was cool, 'cause you were cool when I was freaking out about, when I was freaking out about.
As soon as you can get your knee in at the finish, it's kind of over because there's some face holds and you can really use your knee, and at that point you're not hanging on just your foot.
But nothing went wrong. We wrote down the song.